everyone. I hope your week is going great. It's been pretty good here, but I do have to say that Florida has been extremely hot lately, so I am really appreciating my air conditioning right now. So today I'm going to talk about ways we can manage and thrive through life transitions. I wanted to do this video, but I was actually thinking of doing it later this year. However, with the challenges we are all facing now, I thought this would be a much better time to get some helpful information out about this. Now, life transitions can be challenging because they force us to let go of the familiar and face the future with a feeling of vulnerability. Some changes in our lives can be our choice, but other times changes can happen due to unforeseen circumstances. For example, some changes could be moving to a new place, getting a divorce, changing places of employment, losing a loved one, becoming ill, or if you're a parent, seeing your kids go off to college. Now, recently we've all been dealing with many changes in our lives due to COVID-19. Life is moving forward, but it can be challenging at times to deal with the impact this pandemic has had in many areas of our lives. It has affected so many things in our lives that many of us are just looking to find some normalcy. I know I have been. Now, although we may not be able to find our normal, we can create a new normal. I know it's not easy, believe me. I still have days that are challenging because my positive attitude seems to leave me at times, and I find myself having to really work to strengthen my mindset. So what I've discovered in life is that change is inevitable, and the best thing we can do is allow ourselves to feel what we feel and then discover what we can do to get through those challenges. For example, being upset, angry, or frustrated for the way this virus has changed so many things is certainly okay. However, it's important that at some point we work towards a future-focused perspective and put our energy and efforts towards problem solving. So let's dive in and look and see how we can work towards making life transitions move a bit smoother so we can allow ourselves to feel less stress and work towards achieving more peace in our lives. Now, I'd first like to discuss the 3 phases of a transition. Now, the first phase is the ending, meaning we are letting go of our current situation, what we're used to. In this area, we will discuss acceptance, grief, and forgiveness. The second phase is the neutral zone. This is the area in between where we no longer have what we once knew, but we haven't quite gotten to our new chapter yet. Now, this phase can be a bit stressful, and we can feel a little bit confused as to how we're going to get through to the next chapter in our lives. We are learning how to find our balance in our lives and looking at what our new chapter is going to look like. Now, the third and final phase is the new beginning. This is where our new situation is launched and we are beginning our new chapter. Now that we discussed the 3 phases, I would like to give a little more detail for each of these areas so I can explain a bit more as to how we can get things moving smoother as we encounter each of these phases. So when we look at phase 1, letting go of our current situation, the first part is being able to work towards accepting that the change happened. Now, this may seem basic, but this is truly an important step. We naturally define ourselves in part by our surroundings. So when our surroundings change, it can be disorienting. Seeing changes as negative or as experiences that must be avoided makes the circumstances more challenging to navigate through. I know it can be difficult to let go of something, but focusing on what we used to have or how life used to be will only prolong the adjustment period and cause us more suffering. We must first accept the reality that the life we knew is no longer the same. Being able to recognize the conclusion of our current chapter in our lives can help us to prepare for what is emerging. The second part is being able to let go and honor the transition. A time of transition can be confusing, bring on sadness, or make us feel anxious. Now, these feelings are part of the process and they will pass. All transitions in our lives entail some grief, even positive changes, as we are saying goodbye to what we once knew and saying hello to the new way of life. Before we can welcome and embrace the new, we must acknowledge and let go of the old. Also, please remember that we will not adapt to our new circumstances overnight, as it can take time to heal and move past the change that has occurred. Everyone heals at their own pace, so let's make sure we're patient with ourselves so we can effectively cope with what we are experiencing. The third part is being able to forgive. This may not apply to all situations, but perhaps the transition that is happening in our life is from something or someone that caused it, and it might be an emotional situation for us. Forgiveness is really important as it helps to keep resentment and anger out of our mind so we have more room for clarity and peace. Now, I will be doing a video soon on forgiveness, so be on the lookout for that if you'd like to find some good strategies to forgive someone or even look into some self-forgiveness. So now let's look at phase 2. Here we are finding our balance before we begin our new chapter. The first part here is building a good support system for ourselves. Please remember that you don't have to go through this alone. Seek the support of family, friends, a therapist, a life coach, or support group. Having people around us that we feel safe with and who we know we can reach out to if we feel overwhelmed will make all the difference in the world. They can be there to talk us through things or cheer us along on our journey to the other side. Now, the second part is working on our self-reflection. Periods of change are when it's most important to take stock of our lives and to assess how we are feeling about everything. Self-reflection can allow us to ask questions and discover the answers of how we would like to proceed as we take our next steps. We might consider journaling, meditating, or exercising to help steer our mind in a direction of better clarity. Whatever the strategy we select, let's be sure we give ourselves some time and space for our reflection. We can also ask ourselves, who do I want to be when this is over? And what do I want my life to look like? These can be seen as simple questions, but they can be difficult to answer. It's important to focus on our passions and work on our intention. This can help us not only spend time away from the negative feelings, but also create some peace and calmness as we will begin to feel that our lives no longer are stuck and that we have the power to make some positive changes. Now, the third part is believing we can get through it. What we think we can get through is typically a lot less than we're actually capable of, or even what we give ourselves credit for. The belief alone that we can get through a difficult challenge can move us through the transition quicker and with more ease. If we're telling ourselves that we can't handle something, chances are our actions will align with our thoughts and the results will be more of the same. So let's be mindful of our thoughts, and if any negative ones arise, we can make the necessary changes by creating a mantra that empowers us instead. There are opportunities to grow out of every difficult situation, and this mindset will help you to not only survive, but thrive on the other side. The fourth part is making self-care a priority. As always, I believe self-care is very important for us to stay healthy both mentally and physically. Being sure we eat nutritious foods, exercising regularly, and getting a restful night's sleep should be our top priority. We can also include meditation, yoga, and work on some deep belly breathing throughout our day. When we take care of ourselves, we can create more peace and lessen our anxiety as we are going through this transition. The fifth part is working towards keeping some of our daily routines the same, if possible. Routines can help us to cope with change, as it helps us to feel more organized and stay stable, which is so important during a life transition. We can allow ourselves to feel some comfort knowing that not everything is in disarray. For example, we can keep our workouts at the same time each day, or call a friend a certain day of the week that we're used to calling. So now the last phase, phase 3. This is the launch of our new chapter. The first part here is embracing our new chapter and being proud of ourselves for making it through the challenges it took to get here. It's important we're proud of who we are, that we are resilient and we can make it through anything. The second part is being sure we are taking things one step at a time. Being patient with ourselves is really important. We don't want to rush through things because we feel we have to, or that other people are moving quickly, so we have to do the same. Let's move at our own pace and embrace the journey we're on. Now, the third and last part is being grateful. Acknowledging everything amazing in your life can be so beneficial for every situation, as gratitude rewires our brain and gets us out of the fear and anxiety. Instead of focusing on the difficulty of a situation, shine that spotlight on everything you have to be grateful for. Even if it's just for being able to eat one of your favorite snacks. Small as they are, these are still moments to be thankful for. So those are some of the strategies we can use to help us to not only survive, but thrive through any life transition. I really hope you found these strategies helpful and that you're able to implement these into your life. Now let's see if we can reframe how we see life transitions and begin thinking about them as opportunities for growth. We may not have had control of what happened with the life transition, but we do have control to grow and learn from the experience rather than become victim to it. Change could be the best thing that's ever happened to you or the worst thing that's ever happened to you, but your mindset, support group, and resilience during this process will have a great impact. By seeing change as a way to make yourself better, you can actually address it in a healthy way. Change forces us to grow as people, and if we embrace it, we can benefit throughout this process. Now please remember, you are beautiful, smart, brave, and will get through any obstacle that stands in front of you. I believe in the ability for you to thrive and have the life you desire. My prayers go out to each one of you. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome week.